Hello, this instalment of 13 Reasons Why Students Underperform is an odd one. It's one of the ones which I think is useful for adults as well, because there's a principle behind it, and that principle is one of being agile or flexible. Now, I have quite an unusual story, which is that when I was in high school, I used to do terribly in mathematics, despite the fact that I am a very, very mathematical person. And the reason for this was because I would insist on doing equations in my own way. I would come up with my own formulas to solve things, and I remember once doing an examination and getting 100% of the answers right, but I was only allocated 28% for that exam. Now, you might say, well, that's totally ridiculous. If the child is able to do something, particularly in a novel way, surely that is a sign of them being very good at the subject and they should be rewarded with the right grade. Now, that is a decent argument, and it's certainly the argument which I gave when I would approach the teacher and say, this is absurd. How can you say that I failed when I'm the only person in the entire grade who got absolutely everything right, and I've done it in a novel, interesting way? But here's where I think I was in the wrong. Accepting the context within which one is working is sometimes a more adaptive and intelligent way of going about things. And in the particular educational context in which that occurred, what I failed to appreciate was that they weren't simply testing, can the student get the answer right? They were also trying to assess, is the student able to follow the exact steps and rules and procedures that we have given them? Can they play the game as we have put it forward? The metaphor that I sometimes use to explain this is, yes, there are a million ways of skinning a cat, but if you are now at taxidermy school and they say the specific thing you're going to be examined on Thursday is if you can skin a cat in the following way, get the carcass, take the scalpel, pop the ribs out, do that with the head, and get the sawdust, however you skin and stuff a cat, I'm not sure. But the idea is the examination isn't just get the cat stuffed. It is, can you follow the 8 steps so that we can evaluate that you are doing those 8 steps correctly? Now, you can still argue that the school perhaps missed out on an opportunity in what was going on with me. But what I will say is that my lack of flexibility in that situation didn't serve me. And even if I cultivated my additional capacities to come up with more interesting mathematics, what I should have been able to do as well is show that I could play the game. And often, high school and university involve knowing how to play a game and follow the rules to indicate that you have mastery of what they are going to examine. So that's also a life principle. Instead of being stuck and insisting, I am right, this is the way of going about it, this is smarter, perhaps you've got to say, okay, even if I feel that, how can I win in the situation? How can I get what I would like instead of insisting on doing things my way? Then I'm going to give a caveat to that. Of course, in life, sometimes the opposite also applies. You can know how to play the game and still insist that you don't want to. But what I would suggest is that that should be informed not by pride, but by a conscious decision as to what is going to serve you and what you value the most in the instant. And at high school, that's not what was going on for me. I was just being a little bit bloody-minded. So hopefully that gives you some insight, and if you can apply that in any aspect of your life or in school, get agile, not stuck.